Welcome to the Lancashire Cricket Show for the very first outing of 2009. We're unchanged despite the face of constant evolution that you can see around Lancashire County Cricket Club, the stadium reconstruction, also the new coach, and there's a new skipper to factor into things. If you've missed it over the winter, don't worry, all the big names are on the way.
It was a club I always supported before I went and played and coached at Sussex, so to come back was very exciting. You know, now being here for a few weeks, it gets more exciting every day.
There's people who are paid to make decisions, and that's their job, and now it's my job, and I'm looking forward to a different aspect of the game.
Come on, it's my manager.
Oh, he's got him!
All of that coming up, including a chat with the new Lancashire coach, Peter Moores. Now, before his time, Lancashire finished the County Championship season in 2008 in fine style with a great victory down at Taunton against Somerset. They've taken that feel-good factor into their winter preparations. There really is a relaxed air around Old Trafford at the moment, mainly due to the fact that there have been a lot of changes. Here in brief are the key ones ahead of the brand new season.
The ink had barely dried on the 2009 season when it was announced that captain Stuart Law would be leaving the club. It didn't take long for his replacement to be announced though. Step forward Glenn Chappell.
It brings a new perspective to my game. I've been playing for a long time now, and just concentrating on my game and trying, not getting too involved. There's people who are paid to make decisions, and that's their job, and now it's my job, and I'm looking forward to a different aspect of the game.
That was to be the first of a series of changes at Old Trafford, both on and off the pitch over the winter months. The ground changes were there for all to see. Undoubtedly the biggest development to grab the headlines though was the announcement of Peter Moores as new head coach. The former England coach filled the void left by Mike Watkinson, who became director of cricket.
It wasn't that big a decision for me because of all the jobs apart from England I'd want in county cricket, it'd be Lancashire. I think I was brought up around here, watched Lancashire as a child, so there's quite a strong connection here anyway.
With names like Law and Cork leaving the Red Rose, we've also seen experience drafted into the squad. VVS Laxman returns after an impressive spell in 2007, and he'll be joined by one of the biggest stars of South African cricket, Ashwell Prince. After pre-season in the Middle East, Lancashire continued their pre-season preparations with back-to-back one-day friendlies against Yorkshire and then a clash with Derbyshire. In the first clash with the White Rose County, former England captain Michael Vaughan was in the lineup. He hit 29 as Yorkshire reached 239. Captain McGrath was a star performer with the bat and fell just 12 short of a century, hitting 88. Lancashire fell 13 runs short of the visitors' total. 2 days later, it was the turn of Lancashire to taste victory. Kyle Hogg hit 58 and Mark Chilton 45 as Lancs reached 179. Yorkshire could only muster 163 to fall 16 runs short. Andrew Gale was a star performer with the bat, hitting 67. Weather dictated affairs as Lancashire took on Derbyshire on Good Friday. Kyle Hogg was Lancashire's top scorer with 20 as they mustered 89. Derbyshire never had the chance to bat though, so a no result was the inevitable conclusion.
Chief among those innovations that you've seen there, the appointment of a brand new head coach. Mike Watkinson remains as cricket director, but working alongside him, Peter Moores comes in fresh from international experience as coach of England. And the appointment of the former Sussex head coach, Moores, ends for him what has been a pretty turbulent winter. Peter, first of all, welcome to Old Trafford of 2009 season. Congratulations on your post, and as far as you're concerned, from being here as a very young man watching your cricket, is there any feeling for you that this was destiny to become the head coach at Lancashire?
Yeah, not about destiny, it's sort of fated in some ways, in that obviously losing the England job was disappointing, time to go through and whatever, but coming out of that and suddenly seeing that the Lancashire job was available, and Mike Watkinson phoned up and said, listen, would you be interested at all? Because if you are, there's a closing date for applications, and I just wanted to make you aware of what it was. I went away and thought about it for a week and said yes. Still, in a way, you're a little bit in turmoil because of what had happened. But then went through what was a pretty rigorous interview process, and the more I was going through it, the more excited I was getting that I really wanted the job. I really wanted to, because you're right, I've got family who live in Macclesfield and that sort of area where I was brought up, so it's close to the ground. It was a club I always supported before I went and played and coached at Sussex. So to come back, it was very exciting. Now being here for a few weeks, it gets more exciting every day.
How important was it for you to get straight back on the horse, if you like, after what had happened before?
It wasn't that I thought I've got to go and coach straight away. It was the fact that the job was available at that time. And Lancashire quite rightly wanted to coach in place quickly because the county season was starting to come and it comes very quick. And I think to have a coach in place before is very important. So for me, I was appointed, I had 2 weeks here before we went to Dubai for pre-season training, which really were 2 weeks were very important because I meant to meet the staff that are off the field, both office-based and some of the coaches. So you get your feet under the table before we went away with the staff, and then get to know the lads, and then obviously you start to get a feel for the club, and that's important.
Are you surprised with the depth of the talent that's within, I suppose, the wider Lancashire family when you dip into the second team, or what finished 2008 as the second team, and to see the talent there?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to look at the squad as a talented squad. I mean, what's really exciting about it is young. And I think realistically, I'd say to the members, you've got to be realistic with that. You've got some emerging players who, they've got a great opportunity because there's some space being created by some senior players going. So Stewie Law's gone, obviously Dominic Cork has moved on. That's created some space. And it'll be really exciting to see who steps up to that. But it is exciting to see local born players like, say, the newbies, the Cheethams, the Mullaneys, Carl Brown. Lots of young talent there within the staff. And in many ways, the challenge we've got for all of those is can they take that opportunity? Because realistically, as coaches, we create opportunity for players to play. It's about the players taking those opportunities, really. And this season, there's going to be some for younger players to stand up. And on the other hand, we need our senior players to really come to the party if we're going to perform as a top-flight side.
When you were with Sussex as a coach, what was the key, if there was any small thing that made that side at times better than what seemed the sum of its parts?
It's a collective thing. The team thing for me is, the beauty about a good team is what really makes the difference is what goes on behind your eyes. I think what goes in, how you operate mentally as a unit. And no one can see that, and so no one can pinch it or take it away. So when you've built it up and you've got it, it's a special thing. And I think that's something with the Lancashire squad we've got at the moment. We've all got to work very hard to find out our way. It'll be different to what it was at Sussex or wherever else. It's ours. It's what makes us play every day with a passion for our county. And people realise it's bigger than you. It's a big thing you're going to do. There's a responsibility that goes with it. And that'll make you a passionate and sort of player to play for that county. And suddenly you start finding yourself doing things you never thought you could. And with that comes results and often, a great achievement. Despite
all of the one-day success throughout the 90s and the recent past, if you like, at Lancashire, there's still that one word, championship, looms large everywhere. Is part of your first task, I suppose, to kind of take away that almost a barrier that's in front of players when you talk to them sometimes about ending that long wait? It's
a bit of both for me. One, you must be man enough to take on responsibility. So the fact the club's got great history, it's had successful sides in the past, it wants things, it wants to win the championship, it's had great one-day sides, whatever. All that's part of the history of the club. And I'd say to any player, what you've got to remember is you're part of the history, whatever. You're now in it. What you want to do at the end of it when you look back is that you're part of the good bit of the history. To do that, what we do is get ourselves together and we start to work very hard. Identify what we want, decide where we are now, identify where we're going to get to, and then start to build to get there. And once we know where we're going, if it doesn't happen straight away, we keep working to get there. And if we do, we'll get there. It won't be great. We'll definitely get to where we want to be. The time frame you can't always dictate, but if we've got strength of purpose and we really go for it, then we'll end up getting to where we want to in the end. And we build something not just for a season, we're trying to build something for a long time.
And you can see more from that interview with Peter Moores on the programme next week, and also the interview in full on the Lancashire Cricket Show section of the Channel M website. Now, famously, of course, Peter Moores ended a wait of more than a century and a half for a county championship title with Sussex. Now, of course, Lancashire's wait is less than half of that, but after 75 years, anticipation is still pretty high in these parts. We caught up with the key players as we look ahead to the 2009 season.
We have a couple of months off at the end of the season, and then most of the lads who stayed in England have been training since December. But the last 3 months we've trained quite hard, but we've had a good time, but we're looking forward to getting into the season.
A long 6 months ahead of you. Are you excited?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's dead keen. We always are at the start of the season, obviously, but even more so this year. We've got a new coach and a lot of new things happening, so we can't wait to get into it.
I suppose, professionally it was difficult. It was tough to not get the opportunity at the start of the year, which I felt I would. And then, that opportunity never really came. So until right towards the end of the year. So it was quite a sort of whack to the pride a little bit, but you have to just hang in and carry on playing and practicing hard, and I look forward to the opportunities that I got, and so I managed to get a couple of scores. So yeah, I suppose it was hugely disappointing.
Mark Chilton, like you, spent the summer in the sunny places, Australia. I think he was in Melbourne. He's got obviously a huge point to prove. Disappointment for him last season, but looks like he could be back in the mix this year and given a chance again.
Yeah. Well, I was only living 10 minutes away from Mark, so I managed to have a few barbecues in Australia with him and a few beers and stuff. Yeah, I don't really like shrimps, but we had a few burgers and steaks and stuff. And I spoke to him. We spoke about the season for 5 months, about what we think and what we expect and stuff. And I think Mark's really looking forward to it. It looks like he's probably going to get a chance early on, so hopefully he can take that chance.
Well, it's easy to be overly optimistic, I think, at this time of year, but in all honesty, I think he's been outstanding. His attention to detail is exceptional. Our practice sessions have been absolutely brilliant. He demands high intensity whether we're here at the ground or at the gym. But he's been brilliant, and I think the lads have responded really well in the last few weeks. We've really had some excellent preparation.
It's obviously a hands-full year, to say the least. Yeah, but just to concentrate on cricket like I have done for the last 3 or 4 months, it's been a breath of fresh air, to say the least. And yeah, just to concentrate and hopefully perform for Lancs and within the team as well.
This collection of players can be firing on all cylinders. There's no limits to what you can achieve, really.
Yeah, a lot of the lads have been away in Australia and done well there. And competition for places, but all young lads that are coming through, and it's exciting times, I think, for the future and in the next 5 to 10 years for the club.
Obviously, it's quite good to get named in any sort of England squad, and to get named in the ICC 2020 World Cup, which has been held here at England. It'd be fantastic to get into the final 15.
What's your break been like before Dubai? Have you had a nice rest?
No, it's been pretty tough, to be honest. We was out in New Zealand for 5 weeks. We had a pre-season there with England NATO, and everything went pretty well. Got a lot of overs under my belt. Felt in pretty good rhythm. I've been back here for a week and a half and had a pretty intense week here at Lancs, training sort of twice a day. We've had pretty good weather, and it's been pretty tough, but I really enjoyed it. Can't wait for the season to start now and play some games.
That's all we have time for on part 1 of the first edition of this series of the Lancashire Cricket Show. Join us in a few moments' time when we'll be taking a very light-hearted and humorous look at Lancashire's pre-season visit to the Middle East. Welcome back to the Lancashire Cricket Show. Now, with the rain ever threatening here at Old Trafford, one thing that we can all do with at this time of year is a bit of sun. And Lancashire's cricketers chose that option to prepare for the 2009 season by heading out to the United Arab Emirates for a series of one-day matches. Now, it might have been against our better judgment, I'm not sure, but Channel M allowed Kyle Hogg and Stephen Mullaney to let loose with their cameras, and this is their account of their time in the Middle East.
Day 1, Dubai. Just arrived. It's very nice, lovely room. How was your trip, Paul?
It was quite good actually. Emirates is a lovely airline. And we've checked in at Crown Plaza. Is that right? Crown Plaza.
That's right.
So we're just relaxing. We've got a gym session this afternoon with our Scottish natter. So it should be good.
Brownie, how's your 15 countries you visited before you got here?
Well, you put me tourist, yeah.
Watching a bit of Mrs. Doubtfire. Just finished.
Fitness coach. Come on, middle six. Let's have something. You want to go? You want to fucking go?
How you feeling, Gaz?
I'm alright, actually. Looking forward to the match today.
Enjoyed the first few days of the tour?
Yeah, it's been hard work. Lots of organising to do, make sure the nets and just organise the training. But it's been great fun. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Bit of fitness before the game today?
That's correct. Yeah, just do about 20 minutes on the machine now.
Good. Hopefully speak to you later on in the tour.
Push it harder. Come on. It's my manager.
Oh, he's got him! He's got him! Oh, he's down! He's down! He's over the gate! 1, 2,
Who am I?
3,
Who am I?
4. Right, first interview of the trip. Tom Smith. You looking forward to Dubai?
Yeah, I can't wait. It was great last year, and looking forward to getting stuck in this year and catching up with the lads and playing against cricket.
Who's the players to look out for on this trip?
Lancashire lads, Stephen Laney number 1, and I think obviously we've got a good squad, and I think everyone's going to put forward.
A new start for everyone, fresh faces, coach, captain. Think that's a good move for the club?
Yeah, it should be good. Obviously, Peter Moores, well-established coach, he's run things at all levels, and looking forward to working with him, working with the team.
And Glenn Chappell?
Yeah, I think he's going to have a great year as captain. Great player, great bloke, and I think he's going to captain the lads really well.
We trained today. How did training go for you?
Training's fantastic. All the boys did really well. We worked really hard. We're looking in good shape for the game, though.
So Al, apparently you've been outdone in the weights room.
No, nobody has.
And outdone by Sussex on the hill runs.
It'll be funny, we're Aberdeen, okay? We're Lancashire as well, but we're Aberdeen, nobody outdoes us. Enough six guys can try and show off. Anytime he wants a strength test, I'm there for him. The guys over in Sussex, well, what are they doing? He's obviously a learner, he's an apprentice. He should come and talk to me, the expert.
End of.
Next question.
Come on, Keto. Well, the Hearts, what about it?
Lads, even if you don't feel thirsty, can you make sure you get on board to a little bit pissed?
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Well done, Mozzie.
Well done, Mum. Well done, boys. Well done. Tommy, well done.
Well done, Luke.
Thanks, mate.
Well done, Pass. Well done. Well done, Brenny, lad.
Stephen Mullaney there, and Paul Horton. Top scorers for the day. Stephen Mullaney, good over 100, and Paul Horton 66.
She knows it's too late as she's walking soul slides away, but don't look back in anger.
Channel M. Well, it's all nearly come to an end. No hotel. We get a bit of room service, early flight tomorrow.
Come on, me. Come on, me. Come on. I admit to these things now.
between now and the end of the season, the Lancashire squad will compete not only for trophies but to avoid the mantle of being the weakest Lanc. First in the trivia hot seat is Oliver Newby. Question 1. What does a bad workman blame?
He always blames his tools.
Solid start. Number 2. In which soap would you find a garage known as the Arches?
No idea.
Have a guess.
Coronation Street.
Number 3. Which TV personality's catchphrase is "all white"?
All white? No idea.
Number 4. What is London's orbital motorway better known as?
What is this? No idea.
Number 5. What colour is a typical diesel pump at an English petrol station?
Black. Keep them like that.
Which page of a newspaper is traditionally associated with topless women?
I don't watch topless women, so I couldn't answer that.
Very
I really,
answer.
the Daily Mail I read, so.
Number 7. In which month is Hogmanay celebrated?
February.
Number 8. How many months of the year have 28 days?
1.
Number 9. I can't even read my own writing here. Number 9. If you just ran past somebody in a race who was second, where are you now?
First. How's that? I'm not answering that.
Number 10. In which continent is Mount Kilimanjaro?
Africa.
Number 11. According to the Beatles song, how many holes are there in Blackburn?
It's all one big hole.
You're never going to be able to go back.
From Burnley. Go and get it right. I'm from Burnley.
And 12. I'm sure you've never heard the end of this as a Burnley lad. In what year were Blackburn crowned Premier League champions?
95, 96. Is it? Something like that. 95, 96, 97?
Just say 95.
95.
Brilliant.
Is this an IQ test?
You've just joined Mensa. Number 2, in which soap would you find a garage known as the Arches, was EastEnders. TV personality with all white was Michael Barrymore. London's motorway is the M25.
Yeah.
Which page of a newspaper with the topless women? You don't need to know it, but it's page 3. Hogmanay is in December. How many months of the year have 28 days?
They all do, don't they?
Writer of this is cool. They all do. If you just ran past somebody in a race who was second, then you're second.
There we go.
According to the Beatles, there are 4,000 holes in Blackburn.
Combined as...
No idea. Combining as one big goal. And number 12, in what year were Blackburn crowned Premier League champions? You got 94-95.
94-95. Cool.
Solid start.
That's all we have time for this edition of the Lancashire Cricket Show, but Series 3 is very much underway. Don't forget to tune in next week when we'll be checking out the form ahead of the County Championship opener for Lancashire. Goodbye.